Greetings fans, friends, and family. Your Crafty Diva Cat here with video number 4 in our altered book series, Removing Pages. Now when you're working in an altered book, it's really important that you remove pages the right way so that your book stays together. You don't want to lose your finished work of art to a mishap like pages falling out. But it's really important to remove pages because you're adding so many elements into your book. You're adding letters that have thickness, you're adding ephemera, doilies, other pieces of paper. Even the thinnest stuff that you add is really going to add bulk when you put a whole book together, and if you don't remove pages, you're going to end up with a book that doesn't close. So if you want your book to close, and more importantly, if you want your stuff not to bleed through from page to page when you're using paint and other things that can go right through a page, then you're going to need to remove some pages and you're going to need to glue some pages together. So removing is really important to do the correct way. As you can see here, there's been a page removed and there's just a little bit sticking up. I don't know if you can see that very well, just a little hint of the page sticking up. Now it's important to leave that little tab, and the reason is the way books are bound is that they're all folded over. They're one piece that creates two different pages. And so if you cut all the way down to the base and don't leave this little tab here, what can happen is another page in the rest of the book can come right out of the binding. And if that's a page that you've already worked on and put a lot of work into, it's going to be extremely distressing when it comes apart. So if you leave this little tab, then the glued in and sewn in bindings will stay together. Now they're super easy to remove. All you need is a straight edge. I use typically a metal ruler, and you're going to fold the page you're going to remove down, and you're going to hold your metal straight edge like this. I'm going to remove the bottom page here, and then you just need a craft knife. I tend to use scissors because they are less sharp than a craft knife. If I want to remove multiple pages at the same time, then I would put something else to block it under here and use a craft knife. But if you're doing one at a time, which is typically what I do, then I just brace this to make sure I'm leaving enough of the little tab like I want to leave, and I just take my scissors and draw it nice and straight across my straight edge, and it'll go right through that single page, and then you'll be able to pop it right out of your book like that. And you'll end up, once you've removed a few, with a little row of these little removed page tabs right here. And the reason that you're going to be, like I said, putting pages together is because you're going to run into stuff that bleeds through. As you can see here, this is marker that has bled through from this page. Now if you're working on this side, you certainly wouldn't want it to bleed through to the page that's already completed over here. So you're going to want to do this before you start to work on the next section of pages. Now, it doesn't really matter what adhesive you use as long as you use one that is designed for paper projects. I have used everything from all-purpose glue sticks to Mod Podge to gel medium, and I actually have come over time to prefer the glue sticks because they're drier. What happens when you use some of the wetter glues is you get wrinkly pages, and I really don't like that look. So what I'm going to do is just do the edges first, and you don't need a ton if you get a really nice glued edge. Then the center, just in a quick zigzag, and then I'm going to fold my pages together and hold the one spine upright so that the bottom page where you're gluing lays flat. Smooth it over, and then very importantly, close the book. The reason you hold this side upright when you're gluing, and the reason that you close the book when you want it to dry, is because if you leave it, if you glue it open like this, you're going to end up with pages that are glued with an overlap, and they're not going to turn cleanly because the book naturally does this at the side, right? You see it whenever you read a book. And you may not notice it when you're doing just one page, but as you get further into the book, you're really going to be able to see that the book is not closing straight and that there's a problem with the way the pages are holding together. It will actually pull the spine of the book completely out of shape if you do that in many pages. But once you get the hang of it, it's really easy, and it gives you a sturdy work surface where your paints and markers won't bleed through, and you'll have a beautiful book that won't come apart when you're finished working with it. For more projects on altered books and other crafts, be sure to check out my other videos, as well as Crafty Diva Cat on Facebook and Twitter. As always, thanks for watching, and happy crafting!